Alright, we are recording for Fairy Tale 15, I believe it is. The Foundling Bird. Just a little bit of an odd name. It's also an odd story. I'm not sure if it has a moral to it or not. It might just be a story and possibly also a little bit of a historical record, like Hansel and Gretel is, which I think I've talked about it in videos for this playlist, but if not, I will talk about it now. So, on just a moment. Need a cough. Piece of dust at the back of the throat. I can suppress coughs, but still want to take care of it. Anyhow, so the Foundling Bird is the name given to a child that a forester, so I assume something like lumberjack, found at the top of a tree. The premise is the actual mother had fallen asleep with the child beneath a tree. Bird came down, took the baby, flew off, set it on top of a tree. But the forester saw it there, heard crying, saw it, went up, grabbed it, and decided, I'll bring it home to my Lena, who is his daughter. So now two kids that basically inseparable. But because it was a foundling and found in a tree like that, foundling bird is what it is referred to then. Never with a proper name. Well, to be fair, Lena's the only one given a proper name. But anyway, back at home. There's a cook. Now, the forester has to go out and work. Cook is home. And apparently the two children will do whatever. But at one point, Lena, the daughter, realizes that, why is the cook bringing in so much water? And asks the cook. And the cook actually answers, but only if Lena promises not to tell. And says, oh yeah, I plan to boil up the water in the kettle and then throw the foundling bird in there. Okay. Anyhow, Lena, breaks her promise, tells the adopted son, essentially, and is referred to as a son. Well, as him, so it is an adopted son. And they decide, and basically, will you never leave me? No, I will never leave you. Okay, then let's run. So they run away, and the cook sends out servants to try to find them. But the children stay outside the forest, but when they see the servants coming, then they run in, and I'm not sure how this is supposed to make sense. They transform into things. Where first Lena's like, turn into a rose tree, and I'll turn into a rose. So then they're not found, and servants find them and like, okay, I don't see any kids, let's go back. Cook is like, you fool, you should have cut the tree in half and broken off the rose and brought it to me. Go again. This time, the kids transform into a church and a chandelier. Okay. One twin powers activate, I guess. So then, although we do get to water at least, with the next one, but when the servants find this, they then come back, and like, couldn't find them. Cook is like, you should have torn the church down stone by stone. It's like, okay. Now the cook decides to go with them, and they transform into a pond, so we do get the bucket of water. Big bucket. It's Wonder Twins. I'm sorry. Oh my god, I just realized that's a reference not many people may get anymore. Super Friends. I think I saw that's coming to Blu-ray or is on Blu-ray. I do want to get that at some point, but anyhow. It's not that I'm old, it's that I watched reruns growing up. I am also old, but mainly reruns. Anyhow, turn into a pond and a duck on the pond. The cook comes over and intends to just drink up the pond, killing, that would be the foundling bird. But Lena, the daughter, comes over as the duck and drowns the cook, and then it's like, oh, goody, we get to live, and then they go back home. And basically says that, yeah, unless if they are not dead, then they are living still, which is kind of obvious, but basically that, lived happily ever after. Yeah, I got no idea on what a moral might be to this story. Cook is definitely not a good person. But I don't know why suddenly we have this just magic of being able to change shapes. But one thing that I do suspect is that this is a story that may be from around the same time as Hansel and Gretel. I know I've mentioned before, when we get to Hansel and Gretel, I'll mention it then as well. Is you see the Hansel and Gretel story in many areas of Europe from about that time because there was famine. And an aspect of the Hansel and Gretel story is cannibalism. And that this was kind of recording that. Not necessarily intentionally, but the story does record it. Because there's also some versions of the Hansel and Gretel story where the witch is actually the stepmother who insisted that they be put out into the forest where they will starve to death. Maybe, maybe not. You know, it's like, husband, I'm not asking you to kill your own children. I'm asking you to abandon them so they'll die and we don't need to feed them. Somehow that's better. But here I kind of have a feeling that we may also have been having something, because why would the cook just want to boil the child unless it was to eat? I suspect that there is an element of that there, especially because it is a cook and not some other person, some other role. So yeah, but I really, I do not know where this story would come from. Don't know why it exists the way it does. Yeah, really don't know. By the way, there's also no mention of a mother for Lena, / wife for the forester. Also, it's not really explained how there are 3 servants that the cook has access to. Well, they are servants of the forester, I believe it does state. Okay. Okay, no, just the cook. Then the cook sent 3 servants after them, so it's not necessarily the forester's 3 servants. But it's still, who else would the cook necessarily be able to order around? So that is one thing about this whole idea of cannibalism that doesn't quite make sense, because if the forester is able to pay a cook, well, that's true, cook and servants, then in theory there shouldn't be such concern of food. But then it is also possible that the cook is not paid. It's more of I have a home that you're able to live in, and I can provide what needs you have. In exchange, you cook. So, I mean, that's possible. That was more of a barter kind of system then, whereas today you would not be able to do that. You would need to, the expectation is always to pay money, even if that money would then just be spent on those same needs, or even like go back. But yeah, it's different time, and I'm not necessarily better, not necessarily worse. Yeah, I mean, because to help explain that a little bit, because I feel some people, well, true, no one watches these, but still is that element of situation was like, I can cook, but I don't have the ability to pay for food. I have the ability to pay for food, but I don't have the ability to cook. I got a spare room, go on in, or just you come over here and cook. I mean, it's not unreasonable to have such a barter system there. But a cook like that, I definitely want rid of, because like, you want to eat children. Go away from me. Or actually, no, stay right there. I'm getting the sheriff. It's like, no. Nope. But yeah, it's, I do not know what, if there is a moral here, I don't know what it is. It very possibly is just a story. Okay. Next story is The Willow Wren and the Bear. I got no clue on that one. But what the heck is this? Just this is for the next story, a plate for the next story. And it's like, okay, I see birds. Some of them are like turkey vultures. Looks like wolves. There's a turtle, a rat, an elephant. I mean, it's like, what is going on in that? Yeah. All right. See you next time for that one.